Say again?
Direction. Focus and direction.
Focus and direction is good, but I was talking about something a little more specific. But to get to your goal, you need that. Yeah, keep going. Couple more.
Grow the right network.
Grow your network. Okay.
Hang around the right people.
Right people. Excellent. Circle of influence.
Holla.
Holla.
Earn another DTM.
Well, action steps to get there is what we're doing, but that's okay. No worries.
Do not procrastinate.
Okay. We're along the lines here because my next point that I want to make is along the way when we're taking action steps to reach our goals, what do we face?
Procrastination.
Right. Obstacles. Failure. Excuses. Bad childhood in my case. I self-medicated for 15 years. I wasted a lot of time. And some other obstacles that I personally, maybe you all can relate to that. We've all had obstacles. We can all relate to having those types of circumstances. A little case study real quick. Does anyone know of Amy Purdy? Have you heard of her? Who? Amy Purdy. She was inflicted with a deadly meningitis, I think it was about 5 years ago. And she had both her legs amputated. She went on to win the 2014 Olympic gold medal, and she founded an organization called Adaptive Action Sports. She's a clothing designer, an author, a model, and an actress, and a motivational speaker. Lots and lots of people have overcome great odds and gone on to be successful. Oprah Winfrey, for example. Terrible childhood. She had a baby. The baby died. She went on to go to high school and she was an honor student, and then she won a scholarship for an oratory contest, and as we all know, she has gone on to be extremely successful. She's worth about $3 billion and she's extremely admired. And then there were people like Bill Gates, who had his first businesses were failure after failure. He's now one of the richest men in the world. Henry Ford said, "The most successful people get ahead during the time other people waste." And we already shared a few characteristics of overcoming obstacles. I was going to do another buzz session, but we'll go ahead and just suffice to say that we know what that is. So what do you think about my presentation so far? You ready to hear more? Yeah. All right, yay, Gordon. Okay. In this little book called 3 Things Successful People Do by John C. Maxwell, he specifically talks about how success is not a destination. It's a journey. And that we need to pack in our suitcase, is the metaphor that he uses, things in our suitcase along our journey. And what those 3 things are is knowing your purpose, maximizing your potential, and sowing seeds to benefit others. First, knowing your purpose. Now, what do we mean by purpose? We hear a lot about that today. At least I feel like we hear a lot about what's your purpose? A dream, a goal, a vision for yourself, a gift, a talent, an interest. It's truly the combination of all of that, right? Is your purpose. Jack Canfield, author of The Success Principle, says, chapter number 1, take responsibility for your own life. He says that every one of us has something that speaks to us, something that sets our souls on fire. We all have inherent gifts and talents, but it is our responsibility to develop all of that, learn what it is, and make the choices necessary to be successful so that we can fulfill our purpose. Now, is this clear? Are you guys following? We're following. Okay. Brian Tracy, self-development expert, author, motivational speaker, said, decide upon your major definite purpose in life and then organize all your activities around it. Now, maximize your potential. John C. Maxwell says that few people want to grow. It requires change. Without change, growth is impossible. So I would love for anyone to volunteer to share with us your personal growth plan. Does anyone know off the top of their head what they plan to do in terms of self-development and personal growth? We've mentioned a few things about Toastmasters. I'll give you an example. Maybe you all can relate. I personally, having overcome some extreme odds, leaving a job in 2012 from horrible bullying, at that point, the day that happened, I went and got me a Success Journal, one of these little booklets at Walmart, and I've had it ever since, and many of the things I've written down are all coming true. And I joined Toastmasters, and I've been reading incessantly. I've read over 55 books. I got 3 more in the mail today. And during that time, after that, I took 20 SCORE workshops. If you don't know what SCORE is, it's Service Corps of Retired Entrepreneurs. They're retired entrepreneurs that help people start businesses. You raised your hand, please.
I'll share.
Oh.
Whenever you're-
What were you going to say?
I'll share whenever you're-
Oh, okay. And I also started a little cookie company, so I've done all kinds of things. And then because I took these action steps, what resulted was what I've discovered about myself in speaking through Toastmasters. And this last 2 years, which has been the most painful year of my life due to several different things, I took pain and turned it into purpose, and I self-published 2 books. And the journey is continuing. So does anyone want you wanted to share?
Yes.
Great.
Fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, long story short, my name is Justin. I met this girl last year, and she does a lot of personal development work. And she invited me to do certain things with her. And in my journey, I've taken a lot of workshops, and I found myself doing things like walking across 30 feet of hot coals barefooted. I've jumped off of a 30-foot pole. I've got on the stage and danced and sang in my underwear in front of a group of 180 people. And all these crazy things I did, and way much more than that, I realized that I can do anything, and that there's absolutely nothing wrong with me, and it's all right here. I just need to take the steps into action and do it. And I realized that I was mad at myself for no reason, and that I was really just stressed out. I voluntarily enrolled myself in anger management. I've already had 6 courses, and I'm continuing to do that. And do things that make me happy, like take improv classes. And I learned that my purpose in life, through all of these soul searching and personal development, is to use my voice. And so I joined Toastmasters, and I continue on to start recording and get into having my own YouTube shows and doing voiceover. So that is my journey, which continues, and thank you, Bob.
Thank you for sharing. That was absolutely perfectly excellent as to what I was looking for in terms of sharing a personal growth plan. And the other thing that I wanted to share was, and Jack has a couple chapters in here where he goes into detail about vision. Jack Canfield says, visualize what you want as if you already have it. If you come into my condo, you're going to see these in my condo. They're all over the kitchen, the wall. And there's a ton of them. But I brought these for tonight, for purposes of tonight. And another action step that I'm taking so I will be a New York Times bestselling author is getting this book read so that I can start submitting my manuscript.
What's the title of it?
My book?
No, that.
Oh, this. The Essential Guide to Getting Your Book Published. It's an excellent
Thank you.
resource.
No, I just couldn't read it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you doing that. I should have done that anyway. And then I also plan on writing a book of my life as my life continues. And then this is a very instrumental book that I've read to help me set up my business.
And what's the title of that?
This is called The Wealthy Speaker by Jane
Thank you.
Atkinson. It's excellent. It's where I got a lot of the ideas for the spreadsheet. She goes into a lot of detail. Number 3, sow seeds to benefit others. This one is, I believe, very close to my heart because I know, and as there was a quote, I think it was, Jack Canfield again, those who give, get. And that's just the way it works. Again, maybe some of you can relate. I do volunteer at my church from time to time and have for years. I'm ministering, helping a fellow speaker that I know. He called me one day and said, can you help me hone in on my speaking and his core message? I've been helping him. I volunteer for the Youth Motivation Task Force, where I go out to high schools and talk to the students about staying in school and getting a college education. And of course at Toastmasters, I try to minister, I do. And I'm in another club and I'm helping members there. And I'm a certified emergency rescue technician for the Newport Beach Fire Department. As you can see, yeah. That was a fun day. And so I'm quick and ready for when that disaster hits. Any volunteers in the house? Want to share with us what you do to volunteer? Stella?
Volunteer? Yes. I volunteer in 2 organizations right here.
Yeah.
And then my professional chapter.
Right.
Meaning I try to build leaders there as well.
Oh, I like
There's a lot of, in my profession, there's a lot of potential to make an impact in the policy level. And just drawing those young engineers out and building them up, hopefully will build good future engineers.
Yeah, very good.
That will impact good policies, forward thinking, and all that good stuff.
Excellent. And Maureen's not here this evening, but she's a volunteer. I know she does a lot of that kind of thing. So let's review. What have we learned tonight? What have we learned? New perspective of success, which is?
Visualize,
Okay.
volunteer, put a plan together.
Sow seeds to benefit others.
Find your purpose.
Right. We learned about finding our purpose. We talked about obstacles and how to overcome, what we can do in the face of odds and obstacles. We shared a personal growth plan and ways to help benefit others. I have to tell a quick story. There's someone that I met in Toastmasters a few years ago because I personally have taken advantage of a lot of the workshops, seminars, anything that Toastmasters has to offer. And I met a person a ways back, and lo and behold, we started to kind of become friends, and he wanted to help me with my cookie business, and he wanted to help me publish my books. And at the time I asked him the series of questions, I hardly knew him. But before he came over, we got together. I just wrote down a bunch of random questions. I mean, literally on scratch paper, off the top of my head. And we get together, and I said to him, this was Lionel Yemental, if any of you know him. And I just said, how are you like you are? How do you're just so driven, and you're motivated, and you're smiling. Not one time have I ever asked him, phone, in person, Lionel, how you doing? Fantastic. And it's genuine. That's, and I thought, man, this is somebody I want in close proximity. So I asked him, what do people need to possess, Lionel, to be successful? He's sitting there just chilling, cool, and he says, my favorite quote, Earl Nightingale, success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea. Number 2, you must be happy in the moment and happy and excited for the next moment. You must possess a growth mindset. Be willing to hear feedback and listen to feedback and act on that feedback. You must be humble, possess humility, enthusiastic and positive, and always act in love. A successful person keeps growing, keeps learning, and keeps improving, takes risks, and moves forward despite challenges and obstacles. Success is perseverance, no matter the odds. I did want to share a quick thing. I was literally listening to Joel Osteen, doing my hair, doing everything, and I got him in the background, and it was a message on fulfilling your destiny. In the Bible it says, God calls you who you are, as if you already were. That's powerful. Know your purpose, maximize your potential, and sow seeds to benefit others. And my final quote, Pablo Picasso, he was a very famous artist. He said, action is the foundational key to success. Let's go on a success journey. I hope you come with me.
All right. Good job.